Hi, Lee Phillips here again. And what I want to spend a minute with you and talk about now is how you put the ownership of a company, either a corporation or an LLC, into a trust. You've got to remember, here's the basics, and we have other YouTubes that talk about it. Your trust, your living revocable trust, or actually any other trust, has three parts to its name. It has the name of the trust, and you can name your trust anything you want, just like you can name your kids. It also has the date of the trust. What date was the trust established on? Now, there's the original establishment date, and a lot of you have amended or restated the trust. So it would be the John Doe Trust or the Ugly Light Trust or whatever it is, dated such and such a dated 6/15/90, restated 6/15/2000. And so you need to have the John Doe Trust restated 6/15/20. That would be the name of the trust. I want to get the last piece, the last date on that trust. You could have the trust dated 90, 6/15, amended 6/22, 2005, whatever it is. So I want to make sure that we get what the history of this is, so to speak. The trust originally founded, then amended or restated, or just if it's been totally restated, just as restated instead of under agreement or whatever the terminology is. That's a U/A, under agreement. So name of trust, date of trust, and then trustee's name's got to be there. That's usually your name, but it's got to be John Doe Trust, dated John Doe Trustee. All three of those elements have got to be there. Now, in your little company, you didn't bother to issue a stock certificate or a membership certificate if it's an LLC. You just went along fat, dumb, and happy and forgot about the whole thing. You need to issue those. You can get a blank stock certificate down at the office supply store and just fill it out. You can fill it out by hand and get a little ledger. That's just a piece of paper, if nothing else. In the LLC wizard that I have for you, we actually generate these things on a computer. It prints out a certificate for you, and it prints out the logbook. And you write in certificate number 1 or membership interest number 1 is dated such and such a date, issued to John Doe Trust, dated John Doe Trustee. So that's in the ledger. And if you've already issued the stock, which is great, that's what you're supposed to do, then you're going to bring that certificate back in and you're going to write on it void. And then in the ledger, you're going to put voided such and such a date and then reissue certificate number 2 or 10 or whatever it is and reissue it in the name of the trust. Now, you're also probably going to have to amend the operating agreement or the bylaws because very often the members or the stockholders are listed there. So you would make an amendment and just show that the trust is now the owner of the company or 50% of the company or whatever it is. A few states will require you to actually list that membership interest or that stock interest in a closely held company on the state's rolls, state's records. So you would have to make an amendment at the Secretary of State or the Division of Corporations or wherever it is in your state that would require that. Most states don't. That's kind of a private thing, and you should keep that private if you can, but some states do require that. So check, see if the state requires it, check, see if it's in the operating agreement or the bylaws, and then reissue or do your original issue. You should have done it earlier. Do your original issue of a stock certificate with a log entry, a ledger. And those are the things that you need to do in order to move it into the trust. The trust now owns that piece of ownership in the company. It's on the records. It's in the bylaws or the operating agreement. It's at the state if that's required. And I have a stock certificate which says I, the trustee, own that interest. Now, everything's going to go along just like it always did. Doesn't give you any more liability protection, but it means that when Dad, the owner of the company, dies, we don't have to probate it, and that's a big deal. Lee Phillips, now don't forget to subscribe for us, okay? Because we want to keep you updated and posted on what we're doing, because we issue new videos all of the time. And by the way, tell your friends. Put it out on Facebook for me, because if I can get enough people watching it, then we move up. Now you'll notice I'm not commercializing this in that I don't have ads on these. You just go direct to the information. This is an information service, but we need the support of everybody too to keep it going. Lee Phillips, thank you.